The lead story for Thursday, May 15th, YouTube is integrating Google's Gemini AI to place ads at the most engaging moments in videos, making them harder to avoid. This AI-driven tactic identifies peak points to maximize viewer retention during ad playback, indirectly pushing more users towards YouTube Premium. While ad blockers are being curbed, content creators may benefit from increased ad revenue. I want to welcome you to episode 1821. I'm your host, Todd Cochran, and we are back in the studio in Southern Michigan. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But this first story up is with YouTube is wanting to extract more dollars out of everyone's pockets. And I heard I was following a conversation the other day that was an interesting, I guess for better words, an interesting analogy. In that, those that are currently having to sit through ads, they largely do it because they can't afford not to. I thought that was a interesting dilemma now, or interesting, hypothesis. Now, I've been paying for YouTube Premium for a long time because I just got sick and tired of all the ads, and I know a lot of people are in the same boat. And as I've come back and now kind of getting settled in here over the last couple of days, I'm starting to look at the services that I'm paying for month to month, the stuff that I'm using, and what I'm not. And it's one of those times, it's kind of like spring cleaning, time to cancel some services and so forth. But with YouTube, there's a lot of people that are outside the United States that cannot afford the subscription. Like as an example, where I just came from in the Philippines, there's just no way. There's no way people can afford to pay for YouTube Premium. It's just it doesn't work. And this is a dilemma for those folks that are they have to pay for listen to the advertising. So, do you think that those that are less fortunate are the ones that the advertisers are now targeting? Because if I'm paying for premium, I'm definitely not being targeted. No way, no how. Because I pay for the subscription, and I don't want it. I don't want the ads. So I'm curious. What say all of you in this regard? But again, this is a big deal, and basically going to shove more ads strategically at you while you're watching. So I'd love to hear your feedback. geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, a shout out to our incredible sponsor at GoDaddy. A big thank you to GoDaddy here for taking care of the show. And you too can take advantage of that by going over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. But really, in all honesty, to all of you, you are the heartbeat of this show. And if you want to support the GNC mission, head to geeknewscentral.com/insider and become a GNC insider. We're lit and live. Don't just listen, experience the show live by grabbing a modern podcast app at podcastapps.com. You can interact in real time. Of course, you can check out the full Geek News Central universe. That's very easy to do by going over to geeknewscentral.com, where you find all of our partner shows, tons of new content, and of course, stay in the loop. Follow or subscribe to the podcast via your favorite podcast app. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and for even more insider scoops. And of course, you can always join the conversation here, geeknews.chat, or you can email me directly, geeknews@gmail.com. You can hit me up on X at Geek News, and of course, you can even catch me on Facebook. So, of course, we want to take just a second here and thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor of the show. As a listener, of this podcast, we want you to save money. And it's real easy to do. Let's start with a website or a podcast. GNC codes make it easy and affordable. Grab GoDaddy's economy hosting for just $6.99 a month. That's a full year of hosting with a free domain name, professional email, and SSL certificate. Interested in WordPress? You can try WordPress Managed Hosting just for $12.99 a month, which includes a free domain name, professional email, and an SSL certificate. Of course, if you just need a domain name, get yours for only $11.99. Or you can try out GoDaddy Website Builder, get a free 30-day trial on personal business-to-business plus plans. Of course, Geek News Central uses all of GoDaddy's products and services, and your support keeps this podcast alive. Use our codes, click and save. You're backing this independent team of creators and writers. Share my codes or website links with friends and family, because every time a code is used, it's just like writing a check to Geek News Central. Or Thank You Geek is online and going strong. So just a little bit of an update. Rob and I did a show yesterday, and it seemed like what could go wrong did go wrong, even though I had the studio turned up and running. I don't know. It's just one of those things. The NDI on the PTZ camera, which for those of you who don't know is Ethernet video signal, was just acting hokey. So I basically am running SDI right now until we figure out what's going on with the network and why it's why it's choking per se. So yeah. So hopefully the show today goes off with a much better without a hitch. I did a whole bunch of additional testing. Checked all the network connections. Made sure all the computers were right on the right network that they were supposed to be. Even did a couple of minor changes to a couple of things that are, watched here in regards to the show. And I think we're in good shape for today's podcast. So hopefully everything everything came up good. But my travel back from the Philippines was uneventful. Got into Chicago on Sunday night, and then Monday took the train, and then got in here about 6 p.m. Monday night. Right back in the grind of things Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, I'm getting ready to go to London. I depart for London Monday morning, actually Monday afternoon. But so I'm also getting ready. I haven't packed or nothing, waiting on some deliveries. And we'll load up and go to London for the week. So, what's ironic is that Memorial Day hits on the day that I would have been back to do the show. So, you guys are going to be without me for a bit here. So, I apologize for no shows in a row. Just kind of the timing worked out. So, again, I apologize about that. But we'll give a shout out to our insiders here in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and jump into the full stack of content. It just feels surreal, to be honest with you, to be home. And even though I was working 9 p.m. to 4 a.m., I was usually going to bed at about 5 a.m. So my body still has had to adjust and do a little bit of a time shift, being awake on the opposite end of the spectrum than what it was. So a little bit of jet lag. And of course, it's not going to help leaving Monday for London, and then I'll be back. But it doesn't look like I'm completely centered. I don't know why. Let's look here. Am I centered up? Doesn't look like it, does it? It looks like we're very much zoomed in. Am I zoomed out? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll leave it at that. So anyway, thanks. I'm rambling here. Let's go ahead and get into the tech. Now, some of you may get a reaction from this headline. Humans are giving off visible light that vanishes when we die. Yes, this is a science article. Humans give off visible light that vanishes when we die. A new study has been found. So those of you that are believers may go, oh, is that the soul turning the light off? But it turns out The human glow might not be just poetic. A new study from University of Calgary and the National Research Council of Canada has captured physical evidence showing that living organisms, oh my goodness, be careful here, organisms, including mice and plants, emit a faint visible light that vanishes upon death. The barely there glow, known as ultra-weak photon emission, is produced by chemical reactions inside cells. While these biophotons are far too dim for our eyes to see, they're very real, and scientists have now observed the glow flicker out in real time. This is a very interesting article, because I'm sure we've all seen these videos that it looks like a soul is leaving a body, a faint image of sorts. But I guess we do shine, and there is some science behind it, but it makes you go, doesn't it? It does me, for sure. Max, oh my God, they can't make up their mind. Max, which was once HBO, is now reverting to HBO Max. This is a second renaming in 3 years. They can't figure it out. And, didn't we talk about this on the show some time ago, that they were flip-flopping back and forth again? So again, Warner Brothers announced today that streaming service is undergoing yet another branding change. And it's probably because people didn't know HBO. They probably thought, where did HBO go? So the streamer previously known as HBO Max 2018 to 2022, then as Max 2022-2025, will henceforth be known as, again, HBO Max. Unbelievable. I think we all saw this handwriting on the wall. Now, I just talked about doing a little bit of a health check on my subscriptions. Well, according to a CNET survey, Americans spend over $1,000 a year on online subscriptions. The economy has over half of subscribers second-guessing their monthly subscription charges. This is probably a pretty reasonable to think about. And I think about, okay, Netflix, HBO, think about YouTube, and then some other subscriptions I got, pretty quickly we're getting up there in prices. But this survey dives into how much U.S. adults are paying for subscriptions and found the average U.S. adult, again, spends $1,080 a year. We got Netflix, Disney, they're all raising prices. Over half, 61% of subscribers are second-guessing their subscription costs out of uncertainty and the economy. And 26% have already canceled at least one, even though subscription creep is still on the rise. Here's what you got to do. You have more than one credit card? Many folks do, right? Many folks have more than one. Put all of your subscriptions on one card. And then when you get that monthly bill every month, you see, and don't put anything else on that card. If you got like a card you hardly ever use, put all your subscriptions on that card. And then you keep an eye on it and see how things are going up and down. This is the best way to do it. Now, Apple, I got a bunch of stuff on Apple subscriptions too. And they give you kind of a report on your daily spend and stuff as it is now. But someone told me to do this. This was not an originating idea from me. I've got a couple of cards that I basically have had for a number of years that I have nothing on them. And, sometimes they threaten to cancel your card if you don't spend no money. And, it's probably a good thing anyway. But I'm very careful in canceling too many cards, because what can happen is it can really affect your credit rating. So putting the subscriptions on one card is a smart way to track everything. If you move everything over to that, then you're going to know what your month-to-month reoccurring subscriptions are, because now it's in amongst all the other charges on your credit card bill. and it's easy to lose track of. So this is a suggestion I have for you, and I think it'll help you out. The president is pushing Apple to make your next iPhone in the United States, not India. And of course, Apple has agreed to up production in the U.S. according to the president. And they're going to, doesn't say how much though. Speaking to the press in Qatar, Trump said that he said he had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday regarding Apple's plans to ship production away from China to India in a bid to avoid tariffs. But the president has asked Cook not to build out its Indian manufacturing base. So, but they're only going to do a $500 billion investment in the United States. And of course, the cost of labor is the big determining factor here. Again, very inexpensive, almost slave labor in China. Same thing in India. So, your price of your phone will go up if they bring manufacturing back to the U.S. because they have to pay a living wage. So, well, you would hope they would. May only be hourly, which really is, depends on how much. So we'll see what happens. I've got a T-Mobile phone. My company pays for my Verizon phone. And, but, there's a lot of perks. And these perks are on credit cards, too, not just phones. So just remember, if you've got a T-Mobile subscription or Verizon or any of those, there's lots of perks on these phones. You get discounts on stuff, get discounts on subscriptions. Sometimes subscriptions are free. So part of this consolidation is if you're paying for a T-Mobile account or a Verizon account, you need to use these perks that are offered with your phone subscription. Why not, right? It's $20 here, $30 there, whatever it may be, or even a discount in savings. So very, very smart way to save some money here. So this is a great article. Again, hidden U.S. carrier perks you might have not known about it. And again, some stuff like free Disney Plus from Verizon, 5G Ultra wideband access in eligible areas, device trade-in. T-Mobile has T-Mobile Tuesdays, Netflix on us in certain plans, free scam protection. It just goes on and on. For me, T-Mobile, the biggest advantage is international coverage. As soon as I hit another country, I get data, I get text, my phone rings like it normally would. I don't have to, even though I do, because if you're gone too much on an international plan on T-Mobile, even they start looking at you if you're spending way too many months outside. So I use a monthly data plan that I get with an eSIM. And it costs me like $8 or $9 a month to have an eSIM. And that way I'm not racking up T-Mobile's data while I'm traveling. I'm just getting text and phone. Whereas my Verizon phone, I have to completely be careful because unless I pay for an international plan, it gets very, very expensive very, very quickly. I had to take a business call near the last day I was in the Philippines, and it came in on my Verizon phone, which again, no data plan because I don't answer the phone, but this one I had to. 45 minutes on the phone will probably be about 1 month's worth of charges for having been on international, but that was the only time I had done that. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, these perks. FTC has delayed click-to-cancel rule implementation to July. So the FTC has postponed enforcement of consumer-friendly click-to-cancel, giving businesses 2 additional months to comply. We've been working on this, and actually includes the requirement to email folks and let them know that, hey, your bill is going to update. It's going to charge in 3, 4, 5 days. So this is all part of this click-to-cancel that companies have to conform with. Google's confirming plans to make Gemini AI directly into Chrome. That's really no surprise there. But this has been confirmed. Who intends to incorporate its Google AI assistant? No idea when it will show up, but it will all work at Google I/O 2025. That's happening in about 6 days. So we will see where this leads. One thing, there was a study that came out from Marketing AI, and they're talking about how big companies that already have a Google subscription are not paying for other AI subscriptions for their employees, which I thought was curious. But we will see where this all goes. Netflix is going to use AI to make ad breaks look less like ad breaks. How is that? It's going to make ads that make spots that blend in with the show and movies. Kind of hard to stop that if it's baked in, part of the content. It's been announced that Meta's smart glasses will soon provide detailed information regarding visual stimuli. This has been designed to help the blind and low vision community. So these Ray-Ban Meta glasses are getting an upgrade. The AI assistant will now provide a detailed response regarding what's in front of the user. Meta says it will kick in when people ask about their environment. To get started, users have to opt in via device settings section in the Meta AI app. So they shared a video of the goal of the tool. You can check that out. Link will be up in the show notes. Now, this next action by Microsoft, I would consider this to be a little bit on the naughty side. Microsoft is basically saying your computer can't support this. It's giving custom advice based on your PC hardware. The new feature is currently being tested, expected to roll out to all users within a few weeks. So the new feature can be found in the settings app, and it's basically, am I running the latest version of Windows OS? What is the latest Windows version? And it basically is giving you a breakdown of what happens when you try to run certain apps. To me, this just looks like an absolute ploy to get more money out of customers and have them buy new laptops. That's what it really smells like. According to the BBC, Elton John and Dua Lipa seek protection from AI along with 400 other artists. A letter signed by more than 400 British musicians addressed to Sir Keir Starmer says failing to give that protection would mean that giving away their work to tech firms. So they're looking for relief. They want copyright laws to be updated that protect them from AI. I think they're going to be slow to react on this. I just, things are moving so fast. I don't know what's going to happen. Of course, the lawsuits are coming already, or have come already, so time will tell. The Hummer EV can navigate tight spaces with new king crab rear steering. So this Hummer EV does not look like anything like the Hummer I'm used to. And I'm not super impressed with what it looks like. It's definitely big and it's definitely expensive. But it does have this crab walk feature that lets the massive truck rotate all four wheels to drive diagonally at low speeds. The 2026 model year Hummer EV is getting even more crab-like, called King Crab, and it allows for even more maneuverability than before. At low speeds, King Crab turns the right rear slightly faster than the front wheels, enabling the Hulk or Hummer dart in between boulders or through a copse of trees. Or how about getting around traffic? I think that's probably more like it. Hey, I do want to thank our insiders. I do want to thank James Fletcher for his $2 sustaining donation, Nigel Cortrell for his $25 Alahi Chief donation, Dale Taylor for his $25 Alahi Chief donation, and Andrew Palmer for his $5 Ohana donation. We also had some boosts come in. I see that Darren, your boosts are working, so I think we're good now, good to go on that. And so I appreciate that. We've had some streaming sats too that have come in, and that's always exciting to see all of that infrastructure working. It's all basically on my little Umbrel, disconnected from Albi, and seems that cleared things up. So yeah, boost away, ladies and gentlemen. You can do that through a modern podcast app at podcastapps.com. So definitely check that out. But again, thank you to our insiders. I missed anybody, I apologize. I went back through PayPal and looked, and those are the ones that I was able to pull out. The largest U.S. steel manufacturers put production on the back burner after cyber attack. Nucor, one of the biggest steel manufacturers in the U.S., was forced to shut down. Parts of the operation addressed an ongoing cyber attack. The company confirmed the news in an 8K form filed with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. So not much more detail than that at this time. The iPhone, of course, is soon to turn 20, but they're worried that they're going to be pushing an all glass model. We know that Steve Jobs loved glass. If you look at the design of most Apple buildings, it's glass, glass, glass. And Jobs' love of glass is reading your iPhone 16 is covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass. Plus, it's really great glass. But they're saying that there might be some surprises coming on this next release. Time will tell where that goes. At the same time, Apple Maps makes new expert ratings to make it easier to find the best places to eat. Experts have come in from some stick in recent years, but ultimately their insights are invaluable. And according to Apple, we should listen to them more, which is why Apple is now utilizing experts to improve Apple Maps for users. I tell you, finding a good place to eat. Of course, I don't need a Michelin recommendation. That's generally not in the budget, to be quite frank. So apparently these map updates will happen in increments. So we'll keep you advised. Wix takes aim at Adobe and Canva with a new online design platform. From website builder to visual design suite. So Wix is expanding. Again, it announced the release of Wixel, an AI-powered visual design suite that's effectively an alternative likes of Canva and Adobe Express. According to the company, Wixel aims to democratize visual design, and other works designers and non-designers will now have the tools to create professional-grade content and assets. Of course, this just goes all the way up against, a lot of individuals are going to be impacted negatively from AI. We've talked about this a lot. The work on Fiverr has dropped dramatically because of AI as well, because graphic guys like me that don't know how to make any graphics are able to make some pretty cool graphics. I'll show you just some. For those of you watching, let's see if I can bring this up. Let me bring the media up. Let's see here. So these are some of the stuff that for those of you watching, this is some of the stuff I've been creating with Sora and different examples. And, the output of this is just, really awesome. I could have never in 100 years been able to do what I've done with some of these Sora images. And again, a lot of it's just text and a little bit of images here and there. But for me, this has just been a godsend. Now, there's one that came up today that does not work. It made me look like Mike Dell for some reason, but you could see there was a overlap. But if I go back and then look at this one here, for the title of today's show, YouTube's AI ad tactics make skipping harder than ever. First, good enough for me for cover art for YouTube. I'm not as fancy as the majority of people out there. So for me, this was, this just works out well. So again, I would have had horrible art or no art. Moving into a little more space news. Next week's SpaceX Starship test still needs FAA authorization. They want to go as early as the 19th the week of the 19th, but no earlier than May 21st. So, of course, I'm going to be in London when this goes down. So we'll see if they get their license or not, but they're still waiting on that. The LA Olympics optimistically names an official air taxi partner. That's kind of funny. Archer's Midnight eVTOL still requires the FAA approval for any operations, but I guess they will be the official air taxi provider for the 2028 LA Olympic and Paralympic Games. So, but again, that's a very, 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 very big if that's going to happen. All right, scientists have calculated when the universe is going to end. Yes, when it's going to end. It's sooner than you think. But in all honesty, let me give you the number. It's a mind-bending 10 to the power of 78 years. 10 to the 78th power. So now that's a 1 followed by 78 zeros. I don't think any of us have to worry about that. That's unimaginably far into the future. However, in cosmic terms, this estimate is a dramatic advancement from a previous prediction to the 10 to the power of 1,100 years. So now it's a little, we're going to, go dark earlier. Not that any of us will be around for that. Will the human race still exist? That's a question that's probably in doubt. NASA's Punch spacecraft sees a cosmic rainbow in the zodiacal light. Whatever that means. NASA's newest spacecraft, aimed at studying the sun, have captured a colorful rainbow in the warm glow of zodiacal light observed above Earth. Oh, okay. So it's a nice image. I don't know what it fully means. Link will be in the show notes. A dog-sized baby dinosaur has been unearthed after 166 million years. So you think about that, 166 million. And we're just talking about 10 to the 78 or 1 to the 78th power or whatever it was. That's a relic. A middle Jurassic dinosaur has been unearthed. It was the size of a large dog and ate a vegetarian diet. The newly uncovered juvenile from Scottish rocks is making waves among paleontology fans. Skeleton was first noticed decades ago, but stayed in place due to tricky access along the Isle of Skye. But they are able to get it out. And extract it wherever they're going to take it. The foldable iPhone could become a yearly staple for Apple. What do you guys think about this foldable iPhone? Is this something that makes you go, yes, I want one immediately? Is this something you say, yes, has to go on my list? I'm kind of curious. Do you need more screen? Do you not want to carry an iPad, but you just need more screen? And I guess I just don't have enough experience with these things to know if I would want one or not. Because do you have to open it to use the full screen, or is there another screen on the other side of the device? That's the question. I don't know. I don't know if I need one of these. But what say you? geeknews@gmail.com. Hey, the next-gen CarPlay branded CarPlay Ultra starts rolling out today. After months of delay, Apple officially announced the launch of the next-gen CarPlay. And let's see, how is it going to roll out? The big question is the availability. This launch was with just Aston Martin. That's pretty restrictive. Apple announced an expansion of car manufacturers committed to spreading CarPlay Ultra. Includes Hyundai, Kia. Apple also previously renders of what the next-gen CarPlay would look like in Porsche vehicles, which, again, way outside my budget. That is for sure. Apparently, the AI Grokbot was ranting about white genocide in South Africa in an unrelated chat. Apparently, that kept coming up. They put a fix in, but it was basically sprouting stuff about white genocide in South Africa, which may not be entirely wrong based upon what's coming out of the country, but there's definitely political stuff going on down there that is interesting. But I guess they got it under control. Google's iconic feeling lucky button is under threat from, yes, AI. I haven't used I'm feeling lucky in years. So I understand why they're considering changing it. Some people in some beta tests have seen this. Also, if you use Chrome Chrome 136 update page with a patch vulnerability with exploit in the wild. So make sure when your Chrome browser says upgrade to upgrade, okay? That's a very strong recommendation. Again, there's a vulnerability in the wild for this. Chinese hackers hit a drone sector in supply chain attacks. So, according to the news, dubbed Earth Emit and believed to be Chinese APTs, a hacking group was seen launching 2 attack campaigns targeting organizations across multiple sectors to compromise trusted supply chains. But this apparently happened some time ago. In a fresh report, Trend Micro explains that the campaign occurred prior to they targeted service providers in Taiwan and heavy industry firms in South Korea. So, this is a little bit of an old report reported today. I'm sure a lot of attacks go unreported for sure. Also, Android Auto is getting a big Gemini upgrade soon, and also a slightly baffling media control change. So, conversational prompts are coming to the car. Not surprised whatsoever in that case. AI is going to inundate everywhere. If you were one of the folks who was affected by a Coinbase cyber attack, you will be able to get a financial refund from Coinbase. And they say this was up to $400 million were moved in crypto based upon an email from an unknown threat actor. So email is the vector right now. Be super careful on your email. I'm telling you, most of the attacks that are happening right now via email prompt you to open up a doc. And that doc you maybe not be able to read, but it then says, hey, go over here and click this. You go, here's the additional information. And that's where they get you, okay? So be careful out there, please. Uber's introducing Route Share, a rush hour version of Pool. It's also launching new ride passes for users, including teens. So be aware of this Route Share, which can only be described as if Uber, Pool, and buses had a love child. That's kind of a weird explanation. But you'll be able to save some money there. So those of you that use Uber in the city, maybe this will work out for you. Toyota is bringing the CHR back to the U.S. as an all-electric crossover. The company's 2026 U.S. EV lineup now includes 2 models. And I don't know what this vehicle looks like, to be honest with you. They kind of got a picture in the article, but I don't think I've seen one in the wild. But again, Toyota's announced the return of the CHR to the United States, but this time as an all-electric model built on its e-Tanga platform. And the crossover electric vehicle will be now the second battery electric vehicle sold by Toyota in the United States. So about a 290-mile range is what that will contain. In part of its earnings report, Netflix says its ad tier now has 94 million monthly active subscribers. It said that its cheaper ad-supported tier is up to 94 million. That's amazing. Netflix also said its cheapest tier reaches more 18 to 34-year-olds than any U.S. broadcast or cable network, which makes sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to bring me to the end of the show. Don't forget to get over to geeknesscentral.com. Don't forget to support the podcast by supporting the sponsor. You can become an insider at geeknesscentral.com/insider with your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 monthly donations. You also can make a single donation on the show. I definitely appreciate all of your ongoing support of the podcast and your emails and your boost and everything that's come in. Again, a couple of weeks of travel here, or at least 1 week, and then a holiday. So, but I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for staying subscribed. Thanks for being part of the family. And we'll see you back here after Memorial Day. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time.